Hello and welcome to Typebook.
Today we're looking at Matthew Macfadyen. I think it's Macfadyen.
Yes, we've been having
It
some
sounds like
debate as to how to
McFadden.
pronounce it. Yeah.
I could have sworn everyone called him Macfadyen.
Hmm.
Macfadyen. If you say it quick, right?
Right. Ends up hearing it the same way.
He's an English actor known for his performances on stage and screen. Gained prominence as Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. And he's married to Keely Hawes.
So before we start listening to this interview, she's asking him to describe his character Tom that he's playing in this movie or series or whatever. And we kind of clipped the questions because it wasn't showing him in the shot. So anyway, all right, now we're ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
It's like dopey, weird,
Sexy,
sure,
powerful,
despicable,
mysterious.
insecure.
He sycophantic,
Yes.
Okay,
obsequious.
stop. I typed this guy so fast.
Yes, you did.
He's so obvious. Like just then, I saw, it's Tobias Forge. It's that same look. And I don't know if other people pick up on this, but do you remember when he got asked that question? We particularly noted on it. And
Who? Tobias Forge?
Tobias Forge, yeah. And he was sort of
Okay.
like looking up and trying to think about what he thought. It's that same thing. It's very particular. I think people overgeneralize it and go, "Oh, if you look up, you're NI," but it's not really. It's more than that. But it just reminds me so much of Tobias Forge. Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, I like these.
Sadistic,
Yes.
sweet,
Yes.
sympathetic.
Ooh, sure.
No, I mean there are times
There
he's
are
quite
times,
sympathetic.
and then he'll just make you wonder why you
Yeah.
were sympathetic.
Yeah.
But talk about playing this like blend of it. Like, there's so much going on with this character.
It's
You're
the
playing,
best
yeah.
because it is. He's like a big rattle bag of stuff. Kind of like we all are. I mean, that's we go, in our lives we think, oh, I'm this sort of person, and this is what I do, and this is how I behave with people, and actually we're kind of
That's the
just
way he's like us.
make-
We
yeah.
all play different people depending on what company we're in.
Yeah, and
But
what we
he's-
want from them, and what
Yeah.
we think they want from us, and all the rest of it. And so
But he's just such an extreme of that.
Okay, stop.
yeah. So
She's an ESFJ. I have her tagged already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
interesting.
noting about how he's so responsive to her. It's almost like
Mm.
I don't know, like she's a sheep and he's a wolf, but he's putting on the sheep costume. I know.
I am noticing his FE warmth, but it's subdued. Are you done?
Subdued, yeah.
Okay. He's very warm, and I can tell that he's a being of feeling, but I can also see that he tries to round it out a bit. Like, I know you're saying he's responsive. I agree with you, but at the same time, I see where he's more subdued in it, or trying to be more subdued. And I think this is
he's
very similar
more
between,
thoughtful, maybe.
right. I think this is a similarity between INFJ males and ISFJ males. I see that in them where they're more understated in the FE. And I know it's for a reason, and it could be for the same reason. But
Okay, so I'm thinking of Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a little bit more.
yeah, he's a little more openly expressive.
Yeah, he's a bit. This is more like you said, the ISFJ kind of INFJ. The more
Yes,
subdued.
he is.
Benedict
Yeah.
Cumberbatch, he's a bit more he's gone with it. He's trying to be a bit more charismatic and out there.
Yes, he's more openly charismatic, where I would say this guy is more subtly charismatic. Like, he's got the charisma, I can see it, but
he's slightly awkward, but then he's almost like playing that to his advantage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like when they were shouting off the adjectives, you're sort of like, amazing. Maybe.
Yeah, I would bet that he sort of knew this question was coming. The way he answered it. I don't know. He had some really good words, and I mean, you can also argue that he studied the character, right? Just to be able to play it, he had to have thought about it deeply.
Oh, I'm sure he would have, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, just the way he was very prepared in his response. I could see it.
I just find it so interesting how, like, she says a word and she's like, you know, she's not particularly thinking about it. She's just thrown it out, right? And then he sort of like got his agenda of trying to persuade her, but then he's not too, like, he's kind of agreeable in it, you know? So when she says something, he's sort of like, yeah, maybe. It's just really interesting. He's treading very lightly. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, as an actor, it's bliss, because you just get these scenes come in and you go, wow, okay, great.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll give that a bash. Yeah.
So talk to me. I mean, you talked a little bit about it already, but what drew you to this role, to this story?
Lots of things, actually. Playing an American, which was the
first time,
thing.
yeah.
I did it once on stage in London,
stage.
but the first time on screen. And I wanted to do an American TV show, because that was, I hadn't done anything, I'd done plenty of TV and some series of TV, but not in the States. So that's been a real treat. And also the writing. It's always the writing, really. That's where it starts and ends, really. And it was such a brilliant thing to read when I read the pilot.
Talk about playing this American, and how was the accent for you?
Quite scary.
And the dialogue, because he says some filthy things. So
yeah, he does. Yeah. I'm glad my grandparents aren't alive. I mean, I wish they were alive, but I'm.
You're like, glad they're not here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite scary. When we shot the pilot, it was nerve-wracking.
You can get away with a joke like that.
We had the amazing Adam McKay directing, and he would sort of shout out from the monitor, "Matthew, talk about the financial market, the Dow Jones or something," and I would have learnt my lines in the accent, but then having to improvise in a newly acquired American accent was really scary. So I would sort of go all around that. I'd go to Wales and India and back to an approximation of America. So I think I think I'm getting a bit better as I go on.
Interesting.
All right, let's stop.
And Sarah Snook is.
Yeah, you would never get away with a joke like that, but he certainly does, and he's funny in it. Because everyone knows he doesn't mean anything bad. It's like almost like an innocent blunder, and it's forgiven.
Yeah. Jealous.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, I just typed her quickly, and so now we kind of know what we're working with. So the kind of questions she's asking him are very surface level sort of questions. So he's going to be nice in it. How is it to use an American accent? And, it's just all these kind of surfacey level questions.
Yeah.
I
very
remember,
detailed, but very not specific. Well, it's very hard to explain. It's just very sensory, isn't it? It's very like nosy.
Right.
I think ESFJs, they're like nosy questions.
And he's being very polite in it and answering it and giving her what she wants. You can tell she's very happy so far with all his responses.
Previously, she was talking about something, and then she just said something that made absolutely no sense. And based on the context of what she was saying, and he was just like, yeah. He just went along.
But
what a
difference what a difference between like something like this and was it the Tom Hiddleston one where he's sort of by himself, kind of like answering questions, but allowed to just let his mind go wherever it wants to. Is that the one I'm thinking of where he's in the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that was really showing like his intuition. It's showing his intuition in his speech, like like literally what was he thinking in his mind? He was free to express it.
They're
Whereas
pretty
here,
close though.
the intuition is being shown by him responding to her, knowing what she's looking for and giving her what she wants.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah, he's quite a lot like Hiddleston, really.
Yeah, I like him.
He might be the closest.
I think so. I don't know. Like we all have our preferences, like what we like. And out of all the INFJ men that we've typed, Tom Hiddleston is probably my favorite so far. And I like this one too. I know that says something, maybe it's more relatable to me. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
Hiddleston's my guy, I reckon. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Is Australian, and so she and I are like, was that okay? Did we start? But I think we're getting away with it.
Were you listening to anything to sort of help you?
Yeah, I met a brilliant dialect coach in London who took me through the first. So yeah, he's my touchstone. So yeah, but actually being, filming in New York and with the majority of American actors, it's sort of, you just sort of hear it, and that's
Right.
yeah.
Right. I heard that you guys did the table read on election night.
Yeah, we did.
What was that like
2016.
in 2016? What was
Weird.
that like?
Weird. Yeah, odd. And yeah, because we did it sort of mid-morning of election night. So everyone was quite jolly. It was like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be,
Yes.
And then we went to Adam McKay's apartment for a big sort of gathering, like a party to watch the results come in, and the evening went. It sort of became very weird, and everyone sort of left quite early and went off into the night. So it was interesting. So it's a good time. I mean, kind of good for the show because anything that was
Just
anything
stop
that
there.
was
I know, interesting.
Oh.
Everyone left early and went off into the night. I mean, it's just a way. I know these are just little things. I pick up on them. Like this beautiful way of like saying something. I know you say it's fluffy, but I love it. I'm biased, but
I
everyone
feel
sort
like
of
that's just
left.
an
It's
English
even
expression.
it doesn't matter. It's how he says it.
Oh.
Why don't you say it? It won't come across as beautiful.
And then they all went into the night.
Not this, no, fail.
Okay.
It's just the way he does it. It's his hands. It's just this beautiful, like again with Tom Hiddleston, it's just this elegance. I don't know. Look at the way he's dressed even. I mean, okay, he's got the sort of cardigan that we say the Mr. Rogers ISFJ cardigan, but I don't know. It's not the same.
It's like a jumper, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
sweater. Yeah, it just I
Sweater.
don't know. They're so elegant. They just seem to know what to do. Especially like these actors. They're very seasoned in the art of the interview, I guess.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people saying, online, just INFJs, they hate small talk or whatever, and it's just kind of a bunch of baloney. I mean, I'm not saying that.
I hate small talk.
I know, and I know all of us probably to a degree hate it depending on the circumstances. But, in an interview like this, an INFJ male, and he's going to be able to give an interview. He's going to give a good interview. It matters, even if the questions are shallow, even if the questions aren't particularly interesting. You're not going to know it.
No. They're pretty
It's
good.
important. It's important to give a good interview for many reasons. And so I think that's kind of what you see from them consistently across the board. You're not going to see a Cillian Murphy, like, I don't want to be here. Like, you can just see it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all the
We need to
joke,
make
right?
a video
Like,
just like
I know.
comparing
yeah,
INFJs
yeah.
to INTJs.
You're not going to see an INFJ male be like that. They're not going to do that. It's important to give a good interview. It's important to be receptive and to listen to the questions and do your best at answering them. And it may stem partly from some need to.
Egotistical.
Yeah, and it might. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I know how I am. I know how we are. But yeah, I still think it's just who we are, It's the intuition with the FE, the SE. It's all of it. All right, let's keep going.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Arguably a little too much. This kind of isn't anymore.
A lot of
bad for life and really good for drama.
Well, a lot of people just assume that this is sort of a take on the Murdoch family. And maybe that's because Jesse wrote a movie script, right, about them?
Yes.
But he sort of said, obviously some of it is inspired by all sort of media conglomerate families. But he also said that the Jinx help inspire it, just because in terms of, that's the HBO docuseries.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Yeah. Okay.
Just about what rich people can get away with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an awful lot of parallels and touchstones. I mean, it's inevitable not to think, it's very hard not to think of the Murdochs. There are strong parallels there. But also, there's a bunch of families, more so in America, single families that own an awful lot of media and therefore have a big say politically and what goes on and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a rich seam of stuff to mine for the show, certainly. But it's not. It's certainly not. Very, very often you're sort of say, "Come on, your characters are based on them," and then they're really not. You don't think about that when you're acting. They're very much the Roys and Wamsgans and all those people.
Do you love his last name?
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's
so
inspired.
Good. It's so
there
good.
is a Wamsgans.
Okay,
I think he's a.
Oh my goodness, that reminded me of Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, did it?
Oh, I don't know. It's it's the way they respond. Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? And it's almost like, I'm sure everyone thinks it's sort of genuine, but I don't think it is. It's kind of like they're playing the other person to make them feel like their opinion matters.
Yeah, well, it's genuine if that's important to
Fake.
who you are. It's not fake. No, it's not fake. You're wrong. It is genuine
It's just
to
a
the
matter of
INFJ.
perspective.
Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I do think some FI people, they struggle because that, to me, that wasn't sincere.
Right.
He doesn't really
to me,
think
it
it's
was
a great name, I don't think.
Right. Again, it depends on your perspective.
Well, I mean, FI, I think, is more into the truth and the authenticity, I think. So there's something that bothers us about that, I think. Although I know.
How about the truth of the interaction, right? There's a truth in that too.
That's nothing.
There's a truth in prioritizing someone over yourself.
To hell with that.
All right, we better move on before this turns into an argument. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Mr. Darcy connection. Because
okay.
Not much.
I see where this is going.
We really should make a video on this. But I just found it hilarious when I saw Pride and Prejudice, and when I finally put it all together. Here we have this guy who's convincingly INTJ. He's making faces at me, those of you out there who can't see. But yeah, he convincingly INTJ. He's got your number, doesn't he? And I mean, he was good in that role. He was lucky. Fantastic. Yeah, right. He was fantastic. And then when I discovered he was an INFJ, I had such a good laugh over it. I mean, I think it's marvelous. Really, I just love it. But he was so good at portraying the INTJ male. And you know it. You agree. Come on. Give him credit. You said it was excellent. It was spot on. And then when I saw he was an INFJ, yeah, right.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So I just think that's kind of funny, but I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, and then we'll type his wife, because that's a good one
we
too.
We sort of have, but
Yeah,
We will
no,
make
I mean, make a
it.
video. Right. She's on our list, our very extensive list right now.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell.
Remember, each video is not a comprehensive analysis. If you want to know more about a specific psychological type, check out the playlists where we have unique takes for each person.
Here are some suggested playlists for you to watch and other relevant videos.